the only way to go. Let's go.
Shooting lights out.
Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today? Now that I got through some technical difficulties out the way, welcome to Shooting Lights Out. We in the month of July. We are in the 7th month of the year. We are starting the second half of the year, and boy, there's a lot of basketball to talk about today. Live on this good old Monday, and NBA free agency has taken off already. Taking off. A lot of news and notes. I'm gonna say that towards the end of the show because breaking news is still happening as I'm sitting here doing the show right now. You know, and then we got to recap the WNBA. The weekend was great for the WNBA. Now they did have a little scheduling problem for me when it comes to yesterday's games, but nevertheless, still had a lot of great action in the WNBA. So we got to do that. So before I get started, thank y'all for tuning in. Whether you're watching on YouTube, on our Playmakers blog YouTube channel, if you're watching on Facebook, on the Playmakers blog Facebook page, or our Twitter page at Playmakers on Twitter. Thank you for that. Or if you're watching on LinkedIn, on my personal page on LinkedIn, I appreciate it. If you are new, thank you for tuning in. I am Darner, the Playmakers Silence here. I am hosting this show, as I always do. This is episode 42 of this season 2. I'm happy to do this. And audios, those of you who want to catch the replay of this on the audio part, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So now that I got all the greetings and stuff out the way, we got to go around the hardwood. And to begin our around the hardwood session, the Hawks traded point guard Devontae Murray to the New Orleans Pelicans. We were waiting to see will it be either Trae Young or Devontae Murray that's going to be gone from the Atlanta Hawks. First one off the board, Devontae Murray. Devontae Murray was added to the New Orleans Pelicans team on Friday. The Pelicans sent 2 first-round picks, a 2025 selection via the Los Angeles Lakers, and a 2027 selection from the Milwaukee Bucks or New Orleans owner, depending on how that season goes, but that's like 2 years from now. To the Hawks for 27-year-old Murray, said sources says, forwards, Larry Nance Jr., E.J. Liddell, and guard Dyson Daniels are also part of this trade that's going from New Orleans to the Atlanta Hawks. Now we should see how this works out. So now you have Dejounte Murray along with Zion Williamson, C.J. McCollum. And we're going to see what they're going to do with Brandon Ingram. It's been rumors that they might trade Brandon Ingram. This might be the way for them to, get started with that trade and whatnot. But we shall see how that goes. But nevertheless, the point guard duo has officially split it up, and Devontae Murray is now with the New Orleans Pelicans. Speaking of trades, the Mavs have traded Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Pistons from Quentin Grimes, and this is pretty much, if I had to put it, a cash stamp, to be honest. Okay. The Dallas Mavericks traded shooting guard Tim Hardaway Jr. and 3 second-round picks to the Detroit Pistons for shooting guard Quentin Grimes. Sources tell ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski, to be exact. Hardaway is due to make $16.2 million next season in the final year of a 4-year, $75 million contract. Grimes, who is on a $4.3 million deal, is in the final season of his final year of his rookie contract, so it works out better for the Dallas Mavericks. The trade positioned the Mavs to be able to use parts of the $12.9 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception. Dallas has been limited to $5.2 taxpayer mid-level with Hardaway on the book. And I'm going to show you why in the later part of the show towards the end, because they just did a big signing or agreed to a big signing. Just keep that in mind. If you don't know, just wait till the end of the show. I got you covered. All right. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is out from Dallas. He's with Detroit, and Quentin Grimes comes in to replace him. All right. This happened Friday night on SmackDown. I don't know if y'all catched it, but Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson came face to face on Friday night SmackDown. SmackDown was live on the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York City. As Logan Paul brought out Tyrese Maxey for his Money in the Bank qualifying match against LA Knight and Andrade. No, not Andrade. Santos Escobar. Sorry. A triple threat match for the winner gets to qualify to the Money in the Bank. That will be this Saturday coming up, and I'll be talking about that part of the show later on today when I join my co-host Cool McCain for Monarchs of Wrestling, 6:30 p.m. Real Play Callers YouTube channel. Just to let y'all know, 6:30 live every Monday. Nevertheless, as Logan Paul and Halliburton was making their way to the ring, lo and behold, guess who's in the crowd? New York Knicks guard Jalen Brunson. That's not the first time they faced off of that night, because as Halliburton tried to do some devious things because he's walking with the heel and Logan Paul to the ring, tried to do some devious stuff, Jalen Brunson decided to get involved and make sure no shenanigans took place, thus leading to a showdown where I would give the results of the match now. But just know, LA Knight ended up winning, qualifying for Money in the Bank, but it wasn't the end of that as Jalen Brunson comes back. Jalen Brunson was escorted from ringside, but comes back with the chair before Tyrese Halliburton was able to use some brass knuckles. So that's what you see right here. That's why you see LA Knight and Jalen Brunson on one side, Logan Paul and Tyrese Halliburton on the other side. So great to see NBA players getting involved in WWE. It's great. Jalen Brunson did take to, I believe, Instagram or X with on one of the two social media platforms to ensure the New York Knicks fans that his hand is fine. They calm down. He's good because nothing happened. No fisticuffs was thrown between the four combatants during this standoff. All right, but good to see NBA guys take interest in the WWE. Now, Olympic news. Newly drafted rookie Zach Edey withdraws from the Canada of Olympics roster. This could be interesting towards Team Canada. New Grizzlies center Zach Edey announced his decision Sunday to pull his name from consideration to play for Canada in the 2024 Paris Olympics to focus on his NBA career. Zach Edey goes on to say, quote, I have a duty now to properly prepare for all that is coming my way with being drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. The work I put in this summer on my body and game is critical for me to be the best version of myself, close quote. So Zach Edey decides, don't worry about the Olympics this go around. Get ready for Summer League. Prepare as best as you can to prepare for your NBA career with the Memphis Grizzlies, which is not a bad thing. If you caught last week's episode, and you know I like to just pick Zach Edey along with John Moran and Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain. That's a good fit for them. I want to see how they work in him along with Brandon Clark, who's returning from injury, and Steven Adams, who's returning from injury. So you got three centers on the squad right now. Will they keep three? We shall see. But for right now, the Memphis Grizzlies have three centers. Zach Edey, but not prioritize the Olympics, which is coming up later this month. He'll prioritize Summer League and getting ready for his rookie season with the NBA. I have no issues with that whatsoever. You make your choice. You do what you got to do. Rick Brianna did the same thing last year when he got drafted number 1 overall to the San Antonio Spurs. Instead of playing in the World Cup for France, he said, I would sit this out, prepare for the summer, prepare for my rookie year in the San Antonio Spurs, and then when the Olympics come, I'll be prepared for that. So we'll see Victor Wembanyama this year in the Olympics. We will not see Zach Edey in this Olympics. So he pretty much taking the same path what Brianna did. Don't worry about international play. Focus on the NBA career. It's all good. All right. Then we have some interesting news come about. JD Bickerstaff for the Detroit Pistons are hired. So JD Bickerstaff leaves Cleveland and he is hired by the Detroit Pistons. This happened after the draft, this weekend. So I want to see how JD Bickerstaff does with this Detroit Pistons team that's full of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivory, and some new pieces that I would get into when I get into free agency. And then the big news for this part of the show: Boston Celtics ownership group plans to sell majority stakes after 2024 NBA title, team value at nearly $5 billion. This came out about an hour and a half ago. Okay. Boston Celtics majority ownership group led by White Grosbeck is planning to make the franchise available for sale. Grosbeck and partners lead a group that purchased the team back in 2002 for $360 million. Since then, the franchise velocity has skyrocketed, and with the latest teams to sell control shares being the Phoenix Suns, which went for $4 billion. We all know that by Matt Ishbia. In February of 2023, the Milwaukee Bucks with Jimmy and Dean Haslam paying $3.5 billion. 7 weeks later, you had the Dallas Mavericks go to sell. Mark Cuban sold his share of the Dallas Mavericks for $3.5 billion back in December. So this is an interesting move, but it's been happening quite often as lately. And it's coming off the heels of winning the championship. So he's maximizing everything that he has done thus far to accomplish the goal of selling majority shares of the team without having any further problems, especially with the team that's on top of the NBA world right now, but you cannot be mad at that. No, you should be, because that's what he's doing, and I can't be mad at that. It's a great thing to watch, great thing to look at, and it's a great thing to enjoy. So the majority owner is preparing to sell the team, and he's looking to sell it towards the end of the year or the early part of 2025. That will do it for Around the Hardwood. And when we come back, we're going to dive into the WNBA, because this past weekend was pretty good, I must say, for the WNBA. Very good weekend. We'll be back.
The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, But, this game, after everything Manchester United has been, doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not one, not two, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Lids.
Liz is the leader and number one destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Liz has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Liz.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out. Shout out to my good buddy Cole Johnson with the morning shift. Done a good job today this morning, and follow him for Get You Ready news, sports, weather, anything happening in the country, like hurricane season's coming up. Those of you who live in Florida, we already know this. Anything like that, Cole Johnson will get you ready. 8 o'clock in the morning from 8 to 9, Monday through Fridays. Make sure you follow the BS3 Network, The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the YouTube channel. Go ahead and do that. Also, shout out to my boy Alex Akazai, Internet FC, as he is covering the EuroLeagues and Copa America. And I'm pretty sure he has some harsh words for the Team USA for what they did against Panama. And then today they have Uruguay tonight, and not very good. Speaking of which, he's in the chat right now. He already saying USA versus Uruguay tonight. USA loses and they're out. And if they lose today, I'm pretty sure he's going to have some more harsh words for them coming up in his next recording of Into the LC, especially with the World Cup not that far away, and the Olympics is pretty much like later this month. So, and see how that goes. So, shout out to him. But now, I'll do some more shout outs after the next commercial break. But let's get to it. The WNBA, the weekend that was in the WNBA. Pretty good weekend, man. And we're going to go back to Friday, June 28th, because we had a double header. Dreams in the Sun down up in Connecticut, and then the Sparks and the Merkin in the Valley in Phoenix. The Atlanta Dream went to Connecticut and stunned the Connecticut Sun. 78 to 74. And Alicia Gray was the catalyst for this win. 17 points, 6 for 10 from the field. Tina Charles also put in 14 points for the Dream. Haley Jones gave you 8 points. I can't be mad at that. If Cool McCain's watching, he was a Dream fan. I got 8 points from Haley Jones. 3 for 5 from the field, giving me 6 boards. I can't be mad at that. DeWanna Bauman, 17 points. Can't be mad at Alicia Thomas with 14, 7, and 8. Love that. Carrington, 15 points. But, man, that's back-to-back losses for the Connecticut Sun. This is back-to-back losses for the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Suns are on a losing streak right now. They need to do something about that. They're supposed to be one of the top defensive teams in the game. Not no more because somebody has took that reins. But good win for the Atlanta Dream, getting them to 7-9, still within position to fight for the AC in the WNBA standings. We almost halfway there. We almost halfway. It's 40 games. We almost halfway there. We're at 18 games. The Mercury hosted the Sparks. Brittany Griner versus the Week of Handy. And I mean, outside of the Rika Hanby, to be quite honest with you, the Sparks are a young team. Kira Nurse is good. I think she's in her like third or fourth year. You have Ryan Howard, who you drafted with your second first round pick after you drafted Cameron Brent, who suffered a torn ACL. Unfortunately, we still hope for a full recovery for Cameron Brent. Not only her rookie season ended short, but her dream of playing or representing Team USA in Paris came to an end as well. But it's a young team. Kurt Miller has his hands full with a young team. It's gonna take time. It might not be this year, as they are 4-14. But hey, it is what it is. The Rika Hanby, 29.7 boards. She doing what she can. McDonough gave you 12. Wikita gave you 14. Not bad. 6 for 10 from the field. I like that she's shooting better. Kia Nurse struggled. 3 for 8 from the field, but did get 9 points. And then Kalia Copper, 24 points. Diana Taurasi, 20 points. Brittany Griner, 18 and 11. Natasha Cloud, 14 and 7 dimes. I mean, that's a better team. That's all there is to it. But that was Friday. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday, we had a doubleheader as well. The reigning, defending, back-to-back champions of able in the capital take on the Washington Mystics, and we had the Storm host the Wings. And we already knew what was going to happen. When you see the Las Vegas Aces playing the Washington Mystics, you know what was going to happen. You had no doubt that the Aces was not going to handle business, which they did. They moved to 10-6. They starting to get on the winning streak. They starting to get their run, man. They held the Mystics to 8 points in the fourth quarter. Do you see that? Do you look at the fourth quarter? 21-8. That is stifling lockdown defense in the fourth quarter, okay? 8 points in the fourth quarter? Wow. In your own building, by the way. You're the home team. You can only score 8 points in the fourth quarter. That means the champs was on something. The champs came into the second half because if you look at it, Mystics jumped out early. They had an 8-point lead after the first quarter. They took a 6-point lead at halftime. And then the Aces turned it around, made it a 1-point game going to the fourth quarter, and they just locked them down. Just locked them down in the fourth quarter. Man, that's defense play. All right. AJ Wilson, only 11 points, 11 boards, and 5 assists. Not her best game, part of her worst game of the season. And they won by 11, which is saying something. This is AJ Wilson's worst game of the season, and they won by 11. Chelsea Gray back in the starting lineup. She was coming out the bench for the first 3-4 games when she came back from her ankle injury. She's back in the starting lineup, 22 points for the point guard in the WNBA. Just letting you know. And then Jackie Young continued to put the ball in the bucket better than anybody, better than any guard right now. 26 points. Oh my goodness. Look, 8 for 12, 3 for 6 from 3-point range. Jackie Young is starting to become a problem again. This is what happened last year. When she started becoming a problem last year, you looked at the Aces like, y'all not beating them. Doesn't like y'all not beating them. And then Chelsea Gray became and started doing stupid passes. And it's like, you got a point guard who can pass the ball ridiculously. You have 2 elite scorers at the guard position in Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum. And then you have AJ Wilson, who is the best player in the WNBA. How do you beat them? Well, they didn't have Chelsea Gray for most of this time. Out of the 60 games, Chelsea Gray missed about 12 of them, and they kind of struggled. Chelsea Gray is back. They're 10-6. Still in prime position to make some things happen when it comes to top seeds in the WNBA. So everybody in the WNBA, look out. The back-to-back champions are coming. All right. Now, before I move on, shout out to Dawson with 23 points, trying to do what she can. Eric Atkins with 13. Haynes Allen with 14. But it's just wasn't enough, and you just going to get the champ. That's all it is to it. But they'll bounce back, you know. They starting to find their way. And then we get to the Wings and the Storm. Last time these two played, that was the epic highest scoring game last year when Enrique Gomawale went for 41. And the gold mama Drew Lloyd went for 39 and a Storm win. The Storm won again in a more blowout fashion. And Enrique gave you 24 if you're a Wings fan. You got 15 from McClown and you got 14 from Natasha Howard. Nevertheless, when you look at the other side, the Seattle Storm had all 5 starters in double figures. Enike Agumake, 16 points with 6 boards. Matt DeBon, Easy Lattabon with 13 points. Skylar Diggins-Smith gave you 11 with 5 dimes. Holston, who's been inserted into the starter lineup recently, with the double-double of 12 points with 11 boards from the guard position, and the gold mamba herself, Jewel Lord, with 35 and 5. Good Lord, have mercy. You thought what she did in Indiana was something. She came back against the Wings and dropped another 30 piece. She gave Indiana 34. I believe that was Thursday, I believe. It was Thursday. I believe it was Thursday. Thursday or Wednesday when Caitlin Clark and Indiana people came up there. She gave them 34, and then and like I said, that was the quietest 15 points I ever heard from Caitlin Clark, to be honest. It didn't matter because Drew Love was on one. And then she comes back on Saturday and drops 30 on the Dallas Wings. Good, man. Look here. The Dallas Wings, it's been rough for y'all. It's been a rough go. I understand. You don't have Sabalo, and, it's going to be a rough second half for y'all to try to make a run, but we'll see how to go when she returns back and gets integrated with the team again. But the Seattle Storm, 12-6, they are in prime position to make some noise in the playoffs. Just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. And then we get to Sunday. Sunday, we had a triple header. Started off at 1 p.m. on ESPN with the Dreams at the New York Liberty. And then we had the Minnesota Lynx against the Chicago Sky. And then the Indiana Fever in the desert to take on the Phoenix Mercury. First out to begin the day on yesterday. New York Liberty handled business against the Atlanta Dream, 81-75. I was nervous because Atlanta Dream came out, punched us in the mouth in the first quarter. As you can see, 24-13. And we cut it down to 5 to go into halftime. I was a little nervous. I'm like, Atlanta's playing some ball right now. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We need to do something in the second half. And we turned up the defense in the second half, outscoring them 45-34, winning by 6 points. So I'm good. We had to make some changes. We did, I'm happy that we got the 16-3 on the season. Best record in the league right now. Alicia Gray, 24 points with 5 boards. I mean, she was on one. She in the with 16-12 with a double-double. But my girls, Stewie came up big for me. 22 points, 12 boards. I needed Stewie. I needed Stewie to show up. She did. I got 18 from Banaja Laney Hamilton. I needed those. Sabrina struggled. 3 for 17 from the field, 2 for 11 from three-point range. You gave me 10, but that's not Sabrina Nescu that I know. Sabrina Nescu does not go 3 for 17 from the field and shoot 2 for 11. That's not the Sabrina that I know. You had a bad game. I'm not going to harp on you too long. This is back-to-back games where John Crowell Jones is not being involved in the offense. You only had 5 shots in 30 minutes. I don't need John Crowell Jones to only have 5 shots as he's playing 30 minutes. I'm happy we got the dub. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm happy we got the dub, but if I'm being completely honest, I need John Crowell to be more involved in the offense. When JJ's more involved in the offense, it's hard to beat the New York Liberty, okay? It's just hard. Now, John Quell, maybe low off on the threes for a while. That's all. Maybe take away from the threes, get inside, dominate inside. Because who in the WNBA is going to stop you? You already went up against Angel Reese one time, and you put Angel Reese on the platter. You went against Angel Wilson. Both of y'all had monster games. We came out on top. Okay? For some reason, the only team that's giving you problems is Minnesota. We 0-2 against Minnesota, and in both games you struggled. The first game we had against Minnesota, you was in foul trouble. The second game we had Minnesota, even though it don't count towards the standing, because if we did, we'll be 16-4 instead of 16-3. In the Commissioner's Cup game, they just couldn't find you in the offense for whatever reason. So, Coach Brondella, I love you, but we need to get JJ involved more. We got to get JJ involved more, okay? I'm happy we 16-3. I'm happy. But there are some things that I see that we can improve on. Getting JJ more involved. Great to have Courtney Rennersloot back in the lineup for us. But can we get JJ involved more? Because when we have JJ involved, when we have Sabrina Nescu on and Stewie on, we're dangerous. Not to mention Belijah Laney can put the ball in the bucket. We got Ken Thornton come off the bench, who's been lights out from that corner three. We can bring home the first ever championship in Liberty history here. We have an opportunity, but we can't do it. We don't have JJ involved in the offense. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, that was the opening game. The other two games took place at the same time. The first one was the Minnesota Lynx and the Chicago Sky. This game was on the alternate ESPN channel, what they call ESPN 3. Okay. So those of you who didn't see this game, that was probably why, because you had to have some type of streaming service to get that game, which I feel like there was a missed opportunity from the WNBA because you had Angel Reese and Navisha Collier playing at the same time as Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi. If you would have put this on ESPN at 3 and maybe had Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi play at 5, maybe 6 on ESPN or ABC, just imagine the viewership that you would have had over yesterday by itself. That's a thought tonight. Just want to throw out there. That's a thought. Nevertheless, the Chicago Sky, if I'm being completely honest, they control this game. They pretty much control this game. All right. This is a rarity for me, as I have been an on and off fan of the WNBA. Always been a fan of the Liberty. Okay, it's the only team I ever loved was the New York Liberty. Always been a fan of the Liberty. I always go back to the days of Teresa Witherspoon, who was the head coach of the Chicago Sky, Becky Hammond, who's the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, along with probably the GOAT of the New York Liberty, Rebecca Lobo. But the Sky controlled this game. You jumped out with an 8-point lead, 24-16. And, the Lynx fought back, cut it to 5. But y'all didn't allow the Lynx to score 20 points in any quarter. The Lynx scored 16, 18, 18, and 18. And they was able to win the game because in the fourth quarter, like we talked about earlier with the Aces and the Mystics, the Lynx did to the Sky in the fourth quarter. And in Wintrust Arena in Chicago, by the way, 18-5 in the fourth quarter. You got outscored by 13 points in the fourth quarter, and you lost by 8. You had a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and the Lynx shut you down. The Commissioner's Cup winner turned on the defense in the fourth quarter, and the Chicago Sky couldn't do nothing about it. They have no answer for what the Lynx was doing to them defensively. Okay. Coach Cheryl Reese, who is the women's national coach going to Paris. Just to let y'all know, if you don't know who the women coach is, Cheryl Reese, who is the head coach of the 14-4 Minnesota Lynx, showed you why defense matters. In the fourth quarter, they only allowed the Chicago Sky to score 5 points. 5. And about 2 to 3 of them came from the free throw line, by the way. Just to throw that out there. All right. Now, let me give you the box scores, okay? Navisha Collier probably had her worst scoring game. Worst scoring game, not worst game, okay? Not her worst game, her worst scoring game, because she only scored 13 points, but she gave you 11 boards with 6 dimes, all right? The scoring wasn't happening because she was only 5 for 13, but she found other ways to impact the game with rebounding and assisting, okay? Alicia Smith, 11 points with 7 boards. I love it. Aaliyah Smith. Kelly McBride with 16 points, 5 boards, and 5 downs. I love it. That's how you win games, okay? Angel Reese, 10 and 16. I'll get to Angel Reese even more in a bit. Lindsay Allen, 13 points. Thought was something, because when Lindsay Allen scored, I thought Chicago was going to win this game. I thought Minnesota was going to drop their second straight game after they lost to the Atlanta Dream earlier in the week after beating my Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup game. McBride gave you 11. You got 15 from Carter, and it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough for some reason. And that's a loss that's going to hurt the Chicago Sky. Maybe they can bounce back from it. They can bounce back. But that's a loss that's going to hurt because you control most of the game. You was in the lead after the first quarter. You was in the lead after the second quarter. You was in the lead after the third quarter. And then you got shut down 18-5 in the fourth quarter to lose the game. Now, Angel Reese with that 10 and 16 game that she put on display, that is her 10th consecutive double-double, which is a single record in the WNBA, passing Candace Parker, who did it, I believe, back in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe in 2008, she was with the LA Sparks at the time. All right. So she passed Candace Parker for the most consecutive double-doubles. And she had a hard time getting to that 10 points because she was seeing double teams and triple teams. Coach Reese was making sure that Angel Reese did not impact this game in any form or fashion. Despite having 16 rebounds, it was hard as hell for Angel Reese to get the 10 points. And the only way she got the 10 points because she got fouled. She went to the free throw line when she was at 9, and she made 1 or 2 free throws, which gave her the double-double, if we're going to be completely honest, all right? This was how Coach Reese had her team playing. This was the game that Angel Reese was not supposed to get a double-double. So we might can give kudos to her on that because the way Minnesota Lynx was playing Angel Reese, this was the game that she was not supposed to get a double-double. Minnesota was doing everything in their power to make sure she don't get a double-double and she doesn't impact the game. Part of the reason why they was losing for most of the part of the game because Lazy Allen was able to get off. Kenny Carter was able to put the ball in the bucket. Because you was making sure anytime Angel Reese touched the ball in the post, 2 or 3 people for the Lynx was on her ass. That's pretty much what it was. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. She was seeing double and triple teams. I think this is the first time in her career that she has ever seen double or triple teams. Because I don't think she was double and triple team when she was at LSU. It was like impossible. You had Floyd J. Johnson, who was a baller. Okay. Yeah, Haley Van Lake, you don't know what to do with her. She's on. It's like LSU had time. You don't make sure you don't want to double to her. So I'm thinking. This is just me thinking here. It was the first time she's seen double and triple teams in her basketball career because Minnesota was throwing stuff at her and she was frustrated. Like, I'm pretty sure she's happy that she got the record, but if I know Angel Reese, she ain't too happy that they took an L at home. Okay? I'm pretty sure she was not happy that they took the L at home. She's probably like, yeah, it's all good. I don't know. It's nice to get a record as a rookie and all that good stuff, but you took an L. And again, that you should have won, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm the Chicago Sky. That's a game you should have won. Now, I know Minnesota is the best defensive team in the WNBA. I know Minnesota is 14-4. But watching that game, tell me at what part outside of the fourth quarter that you thought the Minnesota Lynx had a chance to win the game. Because Chicago was dominating. They was leading that game. They was on Minnesota. It took the fourth quarter for the number 1 defense to show up and lock down the Chicago Sky. They held them to 5 points. You had them to 5 points. So you can't be mad at Minnesota for showing up in the fourth quarter because they got the dub. What's the name of the game? Win. They got the 14-4. Chicago's down to 6-11. Which, by the way, depending on what happened in this next game I'm going to talk about, which is the game of the weekend because it was Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in the desert to take on Diana Taurasi and the Minnesota Lynx. And what you know, 88 Fever, 82 Mercury. How did this happen, late? How did this happen, Playmaker? What happened? This was Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Kalia Copper, Natasha Cloud. How did they lose to Indiana out of all teams? Well, as you can see, Mercury jumped out early. They jumped out early on them. It could have been a blowout, to be honest, because it got to 11 at halftime. You was like, yeah, the way Phoenix is looking right now, they about to get Indiana gonna learn another lesson of its levels to this. But in the second half, Kelsey Mitchell decided to wake up. And Caitlin Clark decided to play team ball. Not Caitlin ball, team ball. Okay? Not saying she's selfish. I'm not saying she's selfish, so don't take that account. And what I'm saying is she didn't want the spotlight on her. She wanted the spotlight on the team. And the team became a team again. And they started playing ball. And when they started playing ball, the second half had a whole different look and tone to the game. All of a sudden, you saw a 11-point halftime lead disappeared by the fourth quarter. Because at the end of the third quarter, it was the Fever with the lead after a 29-15 outburst in the third quarter. And then they held on to win the game. All right. Now, Caitlin Clark almost did something that hasn't been done for a rookie ever in the WNBA. She was a rebound away from a triple-double. That'll be the first time in WNBA history, rookie got you a triple-double. She struggled from the field, only 4 for 14, 2 for 10 from the field, but she gets you 15, 12, and 9. It was a struggle for Caitlin Clark, but hey, she didn't panic. She continued to do her job. She kept finding ways to impact the game until Kelsey Mitchell decided to wake up in the second half. And all 16 of her points came in the second half, which helped spark the comeback for the Indiana Fever. Aaliyah Boston with 17 points and 8 boards. Nafisha Smith, 12 points and 15 boards with a double-double. And a stunning upset over the Phoenix Mercury. Diana Taurasi, 19 points. Brittany Griner with 24 and 6. Natasha Clyde gave you 15. And then Kalia Copper. Out of all the games now, we all know this. Everybody's going to look forward to Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark. But Kalia Copper, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe most of the game she was guarding you, Kalia. What happened? 7 points, 3 for 15 from the field. You was able to take 15 shots. Like Kalia Copper, I have called you a bucket. Ever since I've been doing this, I have called you a bucket. Yesterday, you weren't a bucket. You was not a bucket yesterday. And you ended up fouling out. What happened to Kalia Copper yesterday? Now, if you want to say it's a bad game, I'm with you. We can call it a bad game because she didn't have too many of those. She didn't have too many of those this year. But this was a prime opportunity. The Footprint Center was sold out in Phoenix. The world has been waiting on this matchup ever since Diana Taurasi said what she said to Scott Van Pelt. The matchup has finally came, and they was not going to put Caitlin Clark on Diana Taurasi. They was not going to do that. They put on one of the best scorers in the game instead of the GOAT. And one of the best scorers in the game can only give me 7 points. I'm trying to figure out who is the defensive presence on the guard spot for the Indiana Fever. You can probably say Wallace, because Wallace is mostly known for her defensive presence instead of than her offensive presence. You can say that. But she can't stick her and Diana Taurasi. She can only take one of y'all out. I'm pretty sure, and we did see it, Natasha Clyde was on Caitlin Clark. Most of the reason why she struggled because Natasha Clyde is a defensive wizard as well. She's one of the defensive wizards in the WNBA. She made it hard for Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark did not panic. Caitlin Clark did not get frustrated. Okay? And when I say frustrated, I mean she didn't get to the point where the rest of her game went downhill. Like Angel Reese did yesterday. Angel Reese got the double-double. Love it. I'm an Angel Reese fan. I love it. But I saw the frustration on Angel Reese's face. And it was the frustration is like, we can't get nothing going. I can't get nothing going. We can't get nothing going. And this team is about to beat us. And there's nothing we can do about it. That was the frustration that I saw from Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark, I didn't see that level of frustration from Caitlin Clark. She understood. This is not my game. But we are still in the battle. We still have a chance to win this game. Kelsey Mitchell has come alive. And we have an opportunity to win a game that we should not be winning. And by the way, this is the first win for the Indiana people against a team at the time that was over 500. Because Phoenix came into the game 9-8. Now they 9-9 because they took the L to the Indiana Fever. Which, by the way, with the Chicago loss to the Lynx and the Fever upset win, the Indiana Fever is back in the A spots in the current standings. And if y'all, and those of you who are new to the WNBA, the top 8 teams goes into the playoffs. There's no East and West type of playoff system like in the NBA. Top 8 teams in the playoffs, and that's how and whoever 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. That's how it goes in the WNBA. Now, when they get more teams into the WNBA, maybe they actually do an actual separate conferences and have East side versus West side and all that good stuff. But for right now, 1 through 8 makes the playoffs. And currently, as we sit here through basically 18 games, even though Indiana has played 20, they're already halfway through their schedule. The Indiana Fever currently hold the 8th spot over the Chicago Leafs, who are 6-11 right now. So shout out to the Indiana Fever getting a big time win. Gotta give them credit. Gotta give Caitlin Clark credit. Okay, she's like one of the quickest rookies to, like, I believe what it was, 300 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Shout out to the Indiana Fever. Shout out to Coach Christy Size. They are figuring it. They figuring it out. They are starting to figure it out. So now they know how to play against tough teams. So they got a big win over Phoenix. Can they keep it going? Can they put themselves in a prime position to go into the Olympic break? That way, Caitlin Clark can get away from basketball for a while, because she's been playing basketball since November, basically. Let her take a break and get something going. Same thing with the Chicago Sky. Can they put themselves in a good position before the Olympic break, along with Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo, to where when they take a break and get away from basketball for a while, they can feel good about where they at in the standings and have that final push towards the 8th seed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, remember, there's one more meeting between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, and it's August 30th. Okay, the end of next month is the last and final meeting of their professional rookie season, should I say, between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And that could have a lot on the line. Not just Rookie of the Year, but a playoff spot could be on the line as well. Just want to let y'all know. All right. That would do it for our WNBA coverage for today. We're going to take our next break here. But when we come back, I'm just going to show it to you. When we come back, we talking NBA free agency, because a lot has taken place since the period of free agency has opened. I can't wait to talk about it. We'll be back.
I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join Ryan McCarthy
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
and Dustin Henry
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
as they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts.
WWE Shop is your online source for all things WWE. Be a part of the excitement and score wrestling gear for big events like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. From current superstars to legends, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. Don't miss this chance to shop for the most awesome WWE merch. Shop for the best deals as well as WWE gift cards and save big on your favorite items. WWE Shop at Fanatics Experience.
Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay, then LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I just got some breaking news from the WNBA. Tomorrow at 9 p.m., I believe it's on ESPN or ESPN2. Let me make sure I got what I need. Yep, tomorrow night, July 2nd at 9 p.m. on ESPN. It will be the reveal of the WNBA All-Stars. So those of you who don't know, this year since it's Olympic year, it will be Team USA versus Team WNBA. And the Team WNBA will be all the All-Stars that will be revealed here. Now, just to let you know, Asia Wilson, who's most likely got the most votes to be an All-Star, is on Team USA. So that's a spot that's open. LaFisha Collier also most likely going to be an All-Star, but she's on Team USA. Brianna Stewart most likely going to get an All-Star selection, but she's on Team USA. That's 3 spots right there. We'll see about Brittany Griner, Alicia Thomas, and all that other stuff. But I'm looking forward to, because with all these spots that are open, right, we are going to see. I'm booking it right now. We are going to see Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark representing Team WNBA. Who else is probably going to be on that team? I can see Derica Hamby on that team for Team WNBA. Oh, Arika Gomorrah damn sure better be on that team. I don't give a damn what nobody say. The second leading scorer in the WNBA better be an All-Star, damn it. Well, you snubbed her from the Olympic team, damn it. She better be on the other side going against Team USA. I want to see that. So Arika Gomorrah, Derica Hamby, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, okay, on that squad. I'm looking forward to this. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. ESPN, the All-Star will be revealed. So we will know who is Team WNBA going against Team USA on July 20th at the Footprint Center down in Phoenix, Arizona. This will get you up on that. All right. Now, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So I told you before the break, it's time to talk NBA free agency, because as it works, ladies and gentlemen, let's remind y'all, those who don't know, this is a period where teams and players can talk, negotiate, and come up with a verbal contract agreement. Okay? The reason why I say verbal, because these contracts do not become official until July 6th. Okay? And I believe it's noon p.m., July 6th. These contracts that are being agreed upon between teams and players become official in the NBA. All right. So this is a legal tampering period, if you want to call it that, like they do in the NFL. All right. So with that being said, we got some things I want to show you. All right. Let's talk about it. First order of business: D'Angelo Russell opted in to his contract with the Lakers. So he's staying with the Los Angeles Lakers. D'Angelo Russell will be part of the team that was Anthony Davis, the steal of the draft, and Dalton Connect. LeBron should be resigning. He opted out of his contract, but we are looking for LeBron to resign because they drafted LeBron James. Lakers had done this about almost everything that LeBron wanted them to. I say almost everything because I will get to the almost part later on. All right, so D'Angelo Russell opted in. He's staying with the Lakers. We'll see if they trade him for some assets. Also staying in LA is Russell Westbrook. He picked up his $4 million option to stay with the Clippers. All right. So he remains with the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard. Same as James Harden, who agreed to a 2-year deal, $7 million contract with the Los Angeles Clippers, with the second year being a player option. which means so Russell is staying, Kawhi is staying, James Harden is staying. What about Paul George? We'll get there. Chris Paul, who was released by the Warriors earlier yesterday, signs a 1-year deal. I believe it's $11 million with the San Antonio Spurs. So Pop gets one of the best point guards of this generation that we have seen, and one of the best four generations of this generation we have seen. To go along with Victor Wembanyama. So Wembanyama, you can be part of Lob City with Chris Paul, because Chris Paul loves throwing alley-oops to big men. And the way and how tall is you are, like 7'4". It won't take much for you to grab the ball and dunk it. So that should be fun to see with Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama, and Coach Pop on that team. See if San Antonio does any more things in free agency, but we'll see what they do. I'm liking what San Antonio is building right now, but we'll see, because they still got a little ways to go. Good signing. Okay, not a great signing, not something that's going to blow your socks off type of signing, but to have a guy like Chris Paul on your roster, it's good. Can't be mad at it. Veteran. Surprise to me and a lot of Magic fans around the world. Those of you who don't know, I am an Orlando Magic fan. Contavious Caldwell-Pope to the Orlando Magic. I believe it was a 3-year, $70 million deal, if I remember correctly. Let me go check my notes. Let me make sure, because I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Okay, 3 years, $66 million contract with the Orlando Magic, with year 3 being a player option. So a key piece to the Denver Nuggets championship run 2 years ago has left the My House City and has come to the Disney City. So I am happy. As a Magic fan, I am happy with this signing. We get a defensive-minded player in Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who is a good spot-up shooter, especially in the corner for threes, to go along with Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero. Okay. We didn't pick up Mo Wagner's option, but word around is we working out a new deal with Mo Wagner, so the Wagner brothers will still be in Orlando. Okay. Markelle Fultz came on strong this past season. Cole Anthony played pretty good this past season. So we're building something down in Orlando. We are building something down in Orlando, but it's gonna take some more pieces. Okay. We're gonna see what Jamal Mosley does, but this is a great pickup. Now, probably with this pickup took us out of the running for Klay Thompson and Paul George, because we were in those talks with Klay Thompson and Paul George if Paul George was not to be coming back to the Los Angeles Clippers, and it was part of the talks with Klay Thompson to see what that does. All right, but Contavious Caldwell-Pope, good pickup. I'm not gonna be mad at it at all. Speaking of Paul George, oh Philly. 4 years, $212 million deal to go to the Philadelphia 76ers, leaving the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, there are going to be a lot of people. Stephen A. Smith, Tim Legler. I'm going to shout out some of my friends that do this. Dre Day, Snowman, Brian Snow. There's a lot of people that I know, if they want to go in on the Clippers, they have every right to do so, because the trade that y'all did with Oklahoma City to bring Paul George in for Kawhi Leonard, that man has played 5 years with the Clippers, no championships, no finals appearance, and y'all just let him walk for nothing. For nothing! Y'all got nothing in return for the Los Angeles Clippers. You built a new stadium. You gave Kawhi Leonard a 3-year deal. You just gave James Harden a 2-year deal. You picked up Russell Westbrook's option, and you guys did nothing to either get assets for Paul George or bring Paul George back. This looks very bad on the Los Angeles Clippers. Very, very bad on the Clippers. Steve Ballmer, you love to spend money, right? So why you ain't put the money on the table to keep Paul George, or find a way to do a sign and trade for Paul George? You know, if Paul George wanted to go to Philly, you can do the sign and trade and say, hey, you want Paul George? Give us this and this and that. You ain't do that. You basically let Paul George walk out the door, and now he's with Philly. He's teaming up with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey because guess what? Tyrese Maxey got a 5-year, $204 million extension with the Philadelphia 76ers. He was a restricted free agent, so he had an opportunity to speak with other teams if he wanted to. Chose not to because he wanted to stay in Philly. Now, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid all are on the same team. Now, question being with Philly, can they stay healthy? Can they stay healthy? Paul George was mostly healthy for most of the season. I will give him that. He was healthy for most of the season. But Joel Embiid, however, going into the playoffs, played in the playoffs in one leg, and you see what it did to him. Philly couldn't go no further. So if Joel Embiid, Paul George can stay healthy, Tyrese Maxey continues to excel and continue to grow what he is as a guard, mainly the point guard of the team. I do believe they still got Kyle Lowry. Okay. If they can continue to build some pieces around Philly and these three gentlemen right here, Philly might have a chance to finally win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. But right now, if I had to put a price on it, I still like Boston at number 1. I think I'll put the Knicks at number 2. I'll put Philly at 3. Just an inch above Milwaukee. Yeah, we're going to see what Milwaukee does. If Milwaukee does anything, that can be easily flipped to putting the 76ers at the 4th spot. But for right now, I give them top 3. Will they finish top 3 next season? We shall see. That's a whole different story. But Philly's done some stuff. Darren Moore has done some things to ensure that we get some pieces around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. One being Paul George. Can't be mad at it. Speaking of extensions, Cade Cunningham got a 5-year, $226 million extension with the Detroit Pistons. Smart by the Pistons. Keep your franchise guy. Give him an extension that he needs. Now, can you build something around him? You just hired JD Bickerstaff to be your new head coach for the Detroit Pistons. Are you going to allow him to build something around Cade Cunningham? You still got Jaden Ivey. Okay. You added a couple of players of free agents, I'm going to get into in a minute. Is in here. Okay. To make some things happen. All right. But you did the right thing. You paid your star player. Can't be mad at that. Now, this is a situation if you're a New York Knicks fan, you don't like because Isaiah Hartenstein agreed to an $87 million deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right. That's a 3-year deal, $87 million deal. Hartenstein leaves the good state and city of New York and heads to Oklahoma where he can be a help to Chad Holmgren and the young Oklahoma City Thunder. They wanted somebody with size. They wanted a big man. They got one. Hartenstein played well in the spot of Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. Played very well. Played good. Was an energy guy for the New York Knicks. Made some great defensive plays. Had key offense possessions at times. And now that piece is no longer part of the Knicks. It's down in OKC. As OKC continued to try to build on what it was a surprising, spectacular season for them, was the number 1 seed in the West, outdoing the Denver Nuggets by a game. Now they're trying to build on that, continue with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Jalen Williams bros, because both of them named Jalen Williams, but no relations. Chad Holmgren, Luke Dort, still trying to build something. And Sam Presti has been very good as the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I got to give Sam Presti that. He has been very, very good. Now, it hasn't equated to a championship, but he has been very, very good. Shout out to Sam Presti. All right. Speaking of the Pistons, what they're going to put around them, Tobias Harris. 2-year deal, $52 million contract with the Detroit Pistons, leaving the Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be an interesting fit. See how he fits with the Detroit Pistons. Still want to see if Tobias Harris can help out this young Pistons team. And can he put them back on the right track that they haven't been on for quite some time? And I'm looking forward to this. I'm gonna see how JD Bickerstaff and Tobias Harris work out and that kind of stuff. Because those of you who know, I was very, and I do mean very critical of Tobias Harris in this last playoff run with the Philadelphia 76ers. This man did not show up for 95% of them games. He gave me one game where he showed up, and that was to help stave off elimination for the first time for the Philadelphia 76ers. And then the next game, he didn't show up at all. And Philly got ousted. While Joel Embiid was giving you 30 and 15 on one damn leg. Now, Tobias Harris is out of Philly, replaced with Paul George. Tobias Harris is with the Detroit Pistons. That team has done nothing, and those at the bottom of the barrel of the league last year. So this should be a fun one to watch. What's not going to be fun is the fact that the Boston Celtics and Derrick White agreed to a $126 million extension. That's a 4-year, $125.9 exactly $1 million extension for Derrick White and the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics is not playing games with y'all. Derrick White, you come back. Drew Holiday already got a new contract with the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Ben got his extension. They can't wait to show what Jason Tatum finna make somewhere in around $315 for Jason Tatum that's coming down the pipe very soon. Sometime, I'm expecting that signing to happen sometime this month. Let's go ahead and get out the way. All right. I hope it's already say he coming back. The Boston Celtics ain't resting on one championship. They want another one. And they going to do what they need to do to make sure Brad Stevens, the executive of the year, hell of a job. Hell of a job, Brad Stevens. Hell of a job. You ain't making no false moves. You making sure the team that you got stays together because that team was on point. Kristaps Porzingis is already going to get his surgery out the way. He's going to miss probably the first month or two of the season. And he's going to come back ready to rock and roll with the Boston Celtics to defend that 18th banner that they just won. So if you are anybody in the East, including my Magics, but if you are the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, to a lesser degree, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Milwaukee Bucks, you're not happy that Boston is bringing everybody back, basically. You're not happy about that. But guess what? Deal with it and beat them. That's all you got to do. Deal with it and beat them. And then finally, the big news of the day. Klay Thompson to join the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal. Wow. This news broke about 30 minutes before I came live on air. And when I saw this, I said, oh, man, I have got to talk about this. So the Splash Brother dynasty is over in Golden State. Klay Thompson is no longer a part of the Golden State Warriors. What a hell of a run it was. I believe 4 championships together. They was together from the start of it until now. Moments that we would not forget from Klay Thompson. One game he dropped 37, 36 points in a quarter. In one quarter, that man dropped like 36 points in a quarter. Nobody will ever forget that. Nobody's not going to forget Game 6 Klay doing this dynasty run with the Golden State. Anytime a Game 6 came up, Klay Thompson was the one who basically showed out. And it was like, well, damn. If you was down and Golden State needed one more win and it came to a Game 6, Klay Thompson put you out. If you was up 3 games to whatever, if you was up 3 games to 2 and you just needed one win, that one win to put out the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson said, hell no, I'm not going home. And did so. So the Splash Brothers is no more. And it's an unfortunate situation. But this is a business, and sometimes all good things must come to an end. It's just that plain and simple. All good things must come to an end. Sometimes we don't want to come to the end the way like this one has done. But I think most of us seen the writing on the wall. I do believe we can honestly say most of us seen the writing on the wall when it came to Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. You would love to have kept Klay Thompson with Steph Curry because them two together, it was something special to watch. Klay goes off, Steph goes off, and it's like, well, how you gonna beat the Golden State Warriors? There's no way to beat them because both the Splash Brothers were going in. So where injuries have derailed the Golden State Warriors, they was able to get one more championship with Klay Thompson, that fourth one, which to me is like the most important one out of the four that they got, because that was after Klay Thompson came back from a ACL and an Achilles injury. He had an ACL in 2019 against the Toronto Raptors. That's when Kawhi Leonard led the Toronto Raptors to their first ever championship. During the offseason, Klay suffered an Achilles injury, which took him out that whole season with him not even stepping foot on the court. Klay came back, struggled. He was just coming back from 2 injuries. Then that following season, they knocked out the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship for the 4th time as a team, the 4th time. And I think that was the most memorable one for me because I knew as soon as Klay Thompson came back, Golden State was Golden State again. And then you couldn't move the goalposts on Steph Curry anymore because he was Finals MVP after winning his 4th title. So, but that's it. All good things must come to an end. Now we have Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, along with Klay Thompson down in Dallas. That should be interesting to see. I want to see how Jason Kidd utilized Klay Thompson. Is Klay Thompson going to be a starter? He should be. Who's coming off the bench? Because I'm looking forward to this one. I want to see what other moves Dallas made to help bolster, because they probably can use some more inside presence in the inside to help out if they want to get over the top. Because if you want to think about it, when you didn't have no inside presence, Boston took advantage of you. And then they stars and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown said, all right, it's time to put y'all to bed. That's what they did. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. That's all I'm looking forward to. Some other free agency news that I want to tell you about. Patrick Willis, the restricted free agent of the Chicago Bulls, is returning to the Chicago Bulls on a 5-year, $90 million deal with a player option in the 5th year. So Patrick Williams staying with the Chicago Bulls. Speaking of staying with their team, Obi Toppin also was a restricted free agent, agreed to return to the Indiana Pacers on a 4-year, $60 million deal. Max Christie of the Los Angeles Lakers is returning to the Lakers on a 4-year, $32 million deal with a player option. All right. Kevin Love, who opted out of his contract, signed is agreeing to a 2-year contract to return to the Miami Heat. Andre Drummond, speaking of Philadelphia, is leaving the good state of Chicago and is going to Philadelphia on a 2-year, $10 million deal. Eric Gordon also is joining the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it's going to be a 1-year deal. The details of the contract has not been announced, but I do believe it might be maybe a 2-year deal. All right. Jonas Valanciunas is leaving the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's taking his talents to the capital to join the Washington Wizards on a 3-year, $30 million deal. You know, we talked about earlier with the loss of Contavious Caldwell-Pope for the Denver Nuggets. Well, they lose Mason Plumlee, the backup to Nikola Jokic, to the Phoenix Suns on a 1-year deal. So much needed size for the Phoenix Suns, which is good. Going back to the Philadelphia 76ers, they are bringing back Kelly Oubre Jr. on a 2-year, $16.3 million deal. So they are building something over in Philly. They are trying to. We'll see how it works out. Speaking of trying to build something, the Clippers, they took that loss to Paul George, but Derrick Jones Jr. is leaving the Dallas Mavericks and going to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Speaking with the Clippers, they also are agreeing to bring in Nick Batum to come back to the City of Angels with the Clippers again for another run with the Clippers on a 2-year, $9.6 million deal after he had his stint with the Philadelphia 76ers. And you can keep up with all the news and notes with this on our website, the Playmakers Ball website, where we be keeping track of all the free agency news that's coming up. So the big dominoes has already dropped. James Harden staying with the Clippers. Paul George is going to Philly. Klay Thompson is leaving Golden State to go to Dallas. Now LeBron James is needed to make up his mind on how long he want to stay with the Los Angeles Lakers because we don't believe he's going nowhere. they drafted his son Bronny to the Lakers, so we pretty much know he's gonna be a Lakers. But he's probably not happy that Klay Thompson has left Golden State and left the state of California to go to Dallas. Also, DeMar DeRozan is out there. I don't know if a lot of people have paid attention, but DeMar DeRozan is out there. Could he be leaving Chicago and going somewhere else? We shall see on that one. So DeMar DeRozan is out there. All right. And like I said, if you want to continue to follow what's going on, if you don't have an opportunity to see what Ward's is throwing out there, or Sean Sharami of the Athletics is throwing out there, you can go ahead and go to the Playmakers Ball website. We'll have every single free agency moves that have been made on our website. So go ahead and do that. So we're going to take one final break. And then when we come back, I'm going to get you ready for the week ahead since we're in the month of July.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Cowboys Talk. The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved. Let me say that one more time, because you know it's true. The Dallas Cowboys got exactly what they deserved.
Dak Prescott is overrated and he shouldn't be paid. Okay? And the same thing with Pollard. I mean, Pollard breaking the tackles, that 57-yard touchdown run. I mean, we needed that big time.
33 points in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again. 33 points in the fourth quarter. And that's off of 4 turnovers committed by the Colts. See, at one point, and the fact that at the end of the third quarter, it was 21-19, and the final score was 54-19. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is completely unexpected.
Cowboys Talk is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Monday at 3:05 p.m. Eastern, 2:05 p.m. Central. Exclusively on the Sertoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers, right side, commanders. Where my soldiers, left side.
Sports fans are gearing up, whether it be for the madness of March, whether it be for the Super Bowl, or even a little thing called wrestling, name it. You can get all that at Fanatics, where they have a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, the NCAA, and the WWE. So go on and show that pride, that passion, that dedication fan that you are by whipping your team, your league, all your favorite players. Fanatics, official license, everything.
In a world where chronicles of the past are brought to the streams, whether the content is relatable or completely beyond your realm of life, there is no shadow of a doubt that this show is absolutely full of shenanigans. Get ready for
D. Willie in the evening.
This Sunday at 10:05 p.m. Eastern.
Exclusively on Sertoba Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out. Shout out to my big bro, Wise El Jefe. Stuck in my mind podcast where he spotlights people who are making things happen in their life and other people's lives. So make sure you check that out. And can't wait to listen to him and Cole Johnson on Mentality as well. I'm gonna go back and watch that. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to watch that because I'm pretty sure when it comes to politics, Wise don't play. So if you want something to laugh at when it comes to Donald Trump and Joe Biden or anybody else in politics, Mentality is the one that you want to see. You can catch that on the Real Wise YouTube channel or Copa Media channel on YouTube. So shout out to them. Now, before I get out of here and before I get you ready for the week ahead, I just went on X to look at some of Wojciechowski's tweets when it comes around Klay Thompson. And it says here that the Warriors and Mavericks are still working through details of a sign and trade, which includes the Hornets sending the Mavs 2 second-round picks for Josh Green. One of those picks could end up with the Golden State Warriors. Thompson would land in Dallas on the 3-year deal, and that 3-year deal would be straight up no player options, okay? Just want to get that in there real quick. Make sure you get all the correct information that you need when you listen to me when it comes to Shooting Lights Out. Now let's get you ready for the weekend. Starting tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 games on the docket, both at 10 p.m. First game is the Kinetic Suns down in the Valley to take on the Phoenix Mercury. Both teams coming off L's. So which team wants to bounce back? That's the question. And then on NBA TV at 10 p.m., the Dallas Wings, they are in Seattle to take on the Seattle Storm. That is tonight. Tomorrow we have a quadruple of games starting at 7 p.m. where the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty get together for round 3. Technically, you can say 2 because this game counts and the first game count. The Commissioner's Cup game didn't count. But for me, I'm saying round 3. New York, we are 0-2 against Minnesota. We went to their house and got blown out. They came to the USB arena because the Barclays Center was used for the NBA draft last week. And they came back and beat us. This is round 3, ladies. We cannot go 0-3 against the Minnesota Lynx, all right? We are trying to win a WNBA championship. We cannot go 0-3 against the Minnesota Lynx. Hey, my brother Wise Help. Hey, what's up, bro? As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to watch Mentality because I know you're gonna make me laugh about what happened with that debate last week. Just to let you know, I'm going back to watch that as soon as I'm done with here before I do Monsters of Wrestling. So that's at 7 p.m. Also at 7 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, the Chicago Sky, they are in the ATL to take on the Atlanta Dream. How would Angel Reese and company bounce back from that heartbreaking loss to the Minnesota Lynx over the weekend? And the Atlanta Dream, who are fighting for the AFC along with the Chicago Sky. So this is a very important game for both the Sky and the Dream. So this is going to be a big one down in the ATL. So those of you staying in the ATL, y'all be tuned in for this one because it's going to be a good one. And plus, Kuma Kane is an Atlanta Dream fan, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be locked in and loaded tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as well. 9:30 tomorrow night, ESPN. Caitlin Clark do battle with the defending champs, Indiana, in Vegas to take on the Aces. They got a big win in Phoenix, but now you got the champs, and the champs are starting to roll. And I do believe this probably going to be the first meeting with Caitlin Clark and Chelsea Gray. So that game there, I don't know. I want to see if Caitlin Clark is ready for this one. So you already met Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young already. You haven't met Chelsea Gray yet. And that woman there, they call her Point Guard for a reason. So we're going to see what Caitlin Clark and Chelsea Gray do to each other. That's going to be a fun one to watch tomorrow at 9:30. And then at 10 p.m., ESPN 3, the Washington Mystics take on the LA Sparks, 2 teams that are struggling, mainly because of injuries and young talent. So that's going to be a fun one to see who can be the first team to get the 5 wins. Is pretty much the question of that game. That's tomorrow. Wednesday, 1 game to Wednesday. Phoenix Mercury on a back-to-back taking on the Dallas Wings. See what they do. See how they handle it. Dallas Wings struggling. It is what it is, but they are the favorites according to ESPN. Dallas is favorite to win that game. I don't know why, but I think I do like Phoenix in this game. Unless Enrique Morales has one of them type of games when she goes for 40. But, I mean, the Phoenix Mercury, they have 2 people that can offset that, and Diana Taurasi and Khalil Copper. So, and then you can throw in Brittany Griner. So, I like Phoenix chances in this one. And then Thursday, Independence Day, 8 p.m. Prime Video. What a game this is going to be to open it up. The Kinetic Suns in the Twin City to take on the Minnesota Lynx. Now, those of you who are wondering why this game is going to be so great, not only because both teams are 14-4 right now, as we sit here on Monday, but going into the season, the Kinetic Sun was the best defensive team in the WNBA going into the season. The best defensive team as of right now is the Minnesota Lynx. So, the defensive performance is on display between the Sun and the Lynx. Thursday's going to be fun to watch, man. Which defensive team will have enough offense to win? It's basically the question. DeWanna Bama, Alicia Thomas, Brianna Jones against Nafisha Collier, Kelly McBride. If Kelly McBride shooting from 3, I don't know if the Sky can win. Well, if the Sun can win. If Kelly McBride's on Thursday night, I like the Leafs' chances. I know I'm going to get the Fisher Collier and the DeWanna Bama or Alicia Thomas, they're going to cancel each other out. That's what's going to happen. So can the others for the Minnesota Lynx, can they step up? Kelly McBride. That's the main person I'm looking at. Carlton, she can ball too. Bridget Carlton, she can do some things too. Courtney Williams can do something. Courtney Williams and Delanja Carrington, that's an interesting guard matchup right there. Both of them like to play defense. And both of them know how to put the ball in the bucket when it's time. So that's going to be an interesting matchup in the guard battle. And then 10 p.m. after Lynx and Sun do battle up in the Twin City, we head to Vegas where the back-to-back defending champions host the Washington Mystics. And yeah, good luck on that one, Washington. I'm just going to say that. Now, some things I want y'all to be aware of that's coming down the pipe in the coming weeks, days or weeks, whichever one it may be. First off, there will be a special episode. I don't have a date as of now, but it'll be a special episode surrounding this new basketball documentary that was released called The Spoils, Selling the Future of American Basketball. And I will have an interview with the director of it, Mike Nicole. I can't wait for this one. When I get a date, I will let y'all know, most likely through our social media platforms. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, because I will let you know a date when it's happening. And then I'll let you know if it's going to be live or it's going to be pre-recorded, because I'm looking forward to this interview. I seen the documentary. It's a very good documentary, just to be honest with you. I'm going to go back and watch it again while I still got time to watch it. At some point this week, I'm going to watch it again. Make sure I'm fully prepared for this one. But I'm looking forward to this interview, and I can't wait to have it. But I'll let you know more details on it when we have the agreements and set of what day and what time we're going to do it. Also, next week, ladies and gentlemen, the men's United States basketball team start preparing for Paris. Next Wednesday, July 10th at 10:30, the USA men's basketball team will play against Connecticut out in Vegas as they prepare for the 2024 Paris Olympics. On next Friday, will let you know how I feel about Team USA in their first showcase game against Canada, who has a nice squad, even though they don't have Zach Edey on that team anymore. But looking forward to that game, looking forward to that. And I'll be sending out some more Olympic news in the coming days and weeks leading up to the Paris Olympics. So just know I won't be doing this alone. I have grabbed 2 people in Cole Johnson and the Queen of Who's Megan Price to join me. But as we get closer to the Olympics, you will start to see and hear more about what's going to take place, what we're going to cover and stuff like that. So there's some things for y'all to keep up with, and let you know I'm keeping it up with all of it. If it's basketball, I'm keeping up with it. All right. So, and in the meantime, we'll fit some 3-and-3 basketball in there too as we go through the Olympics as well. But outside of that, that's all I got for you on this beautiful Monday. We are in the 7th month of the year, so hope you starting off this month on the right note. It's the second half of the year, so if the first half wasn't so good, make sure the second half is good. If the first half was good, make sure the second half is even better than what you have. So with that being said, thank y'all for watching. We'll be watching on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Really appreciate it. If you're watching on Facebook, X, or LinkedIn, go to the Playmakers Blog YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. That way you are notified every time we post something on our YouTube channel. And if you're watching on certain platforms like Facebook and X, subscribe, follow us on those platforms. So anytime we post anything on those platforms, you are notified and you know what's being covered and what news you need to know. Outside of that, that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate it, the love and whatnot. Those of you who want to listen to this again through audio only, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and whatever else you find your podcasts at, it should be there available for you. Until Friday, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one.
You've done great, but you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.